is dry now, everybody. You can tell when you touch it. I mean, it'll be sticky until it's dry. And once that's done, then we're ready to sand it. And we're going to use 80 grit and 180 grit. And we're going to put on a block. This is all Velcro back stuff. The nice thing about that is you can reuse it. If you're not worn out, you can throw it over here and go to a different grit, whatever you need to do. But you're just going to stick it on there. And as you sand, you're just going to keep that block flat. And it's going to just nice and easy take that excess filler off. And within just a couple minutes, your dent's going to be gone and you're never going to know the difference. And I mean, we're already about halfway there, guys. And again, you want to be wearing a respirator when you do this. I don't have one because it's just hard to talk to you and let you know what's going on. But you know, you're going to just go a little ways and run your hand over it. You'll be able to feel, you know, your edges if they're sharp. You don't want to be able to really tell the difference of filler versus the metal. That you want to just nice, even, smooth. And once we're done here, then we'll hit them with a little final fill to cover up any pinholes or nasty sand scratches we have, any little imperfections that are left. And then we'll be ready for 180 over everything and primer. So I'll finish sanding these out and catch back up with you in a minute. Alright, so we got them sanded with 80 grit. Everything's really nice and smooth now. Now we're just going to go with a little liquid putty. It's just a fine filler. It's a real fine product. So we don't need near as much because we're not really looking to fill the dent. We're just looking to clean up any imperfections basically in our filler, or any, if we still have a small ding somewhere or something that we're missing. That's going to be a good product for this. Same way, makes your hardener really well, guys. And about the same ratio as what we had before. It's just going to be, you know, a nice small little amount. Again, we don't need a lot for what we're doing here. And then we're just going to put just a little strip across it. That should be good. And again, we're not really wanting to stir this up because that's where our problems are going to come from. So we're just going to get that until we get a nice uniform. You can it's hard to see in the camera, but there's still little strips of the red in that yellow filler. And so we want to make sure all that's gone because that's just going to be unevenness. And again, going back to our peroxide staining that we were talking about before, we want to avoid that. So we're going to just get that nice and clean and even and smooth. I think that looks pretty good. And again, just real, we're not putting a lot on there. We're just kind of mainly filling pinholes. And if we got some big sand scratch or something we want to fill, that's what this product's going to be for. Then we'll let that dry up and we'll hit it with 180, and then we'll be ready to wipe it down and prime it. Okay guys, we got that sanded off with 180. We'll run over the whole tailgate with the 180 on the DA. And again, we made sure to get down in these. What you're seeing here is just some leftover primer. It just looks a little funky in the camera. One thing real quick, you want to wear gloves when you're handling your bare metal because the oils in your skin are going to leave rust spots, you know, if you let it sit for very long. That's one thing you don't want to do, is leave this sitting for very long. We're going to get this in primer about as quick as we can so that we can seal up that bare metal and keep any corrosion from happening, because we've already put in this much work, guys. You want to make sure to move on to the next steps, so that you're not having to do rework or have something that comes back, you know, 6 months, a year, 2 years, however long, that comes back and you just go, man, I wish I'd have just taken that one extra minute and done that one extra step. Those are little things that add up, but there are also things that make a big difference in the longevity of your repair. Because right now is when you want to be doing things right. It's one thing to get a run in the paint job or, you know, something like that. Those are things that are on the top. If you make a problem right now, it doesn't matter how good your paint job is, you're going to have to redo it completely to get to the problem. So you want to make sure that you're not leaving a problem underneath. It's just one of those things that you just again, right now is the time to do things right, and want to prevent any future problems. So wear gloves. You want to surface clean it. We're ready for a bare metal type primer. We'll get into that next time. This is going to be the end of this video. Again, everything I use, I'm going to try to get links in the description for you. Appreciate it if you hit like and subscribe. That makes these go a lot easier. It helps me a lot on that end. And we're going to keep working on Project Yeti here, and we're going to keep trying to make some progress. Every chance we get, we want to move forward. And so I suggest you guys do the same and go find a project and get dirty.